Welcome back to Auto Big 8, where history, power, and innovation collide. If you're fascinated by machines that have shaped the world, you're in the right place. Today, we're diving into an incredible transformation, one that took us from canvas-covered warbirds dropping grenades by hand, to stealthy jet-powered giants capable of unleashing destruction from invisible altitudes. This is the evolution of bombers from World War I relics to today's near-invisible ghosts of the sky. The story of bombers begins over the muddy trenches of World War I. In those early days of flight, aircraft were primitive contraptions, essentially wooden frames covered with fabric and powered by modest engines. Pilots in those years flew without radar, GPS, or even enclosed cockpits. Yet, despite these limitations, military leaders quickly saw the potential of air power. Early bombers like the British Handley Page Type O and the German Gotha G4 were massive for their time. They had open cockpits and wooden propellers, and were capable of carrying hundreds of pounds of bombs over enemy territory. Back then, bombing was far from precise. Crews often dropped bombs by hand, aiming more on instinct than instrumentation. Night missions were conducted with little more than moonlight and courage. These aircraft were slow and vulnerable, often escorted by fighters or at risk from ground fire. Still, their psychological impact was huge. Bombs falling from the sky brought war to cities and civilians in ways never before experienced. World War I ended with bombers proving their strategic worth, but it was only a taste of what was to come. By the time World War II began, aviation had evolved significantly. Engines were more powerful, airframes were stronger, and bombers were beginning to dominate the battlefield in ways unimaginable 2 decades earlier. The Boeing B-17 Flying Fortress is one of the most iconic examples from this era. Introduced by the United States in the late 1930s, the B-17 was a 4-engine heavy bomber capable of flying high and carrying a significant payload of bombs. It earned its name because of its defensive armament, a 13.50 caliber machine guns manned by up to 10 crew members. The B-17 flew countless missions over Europe, raining destruction on industrial and military targets. Still, these missions came at a heavy cost. Hundreds of bombers were shot down, and many airmen never returned home. Across the Atlantic, the British fielded the Avro Lancaster, a bomber equally formidable in its own right. The Lancaster was known for its ability to carry the Grand Slam, a 22,000-pound earthquake bomb capable of penetrating deep bunkers and destroying hardened targets. Bombing became an integral part of Allied strategy, used not only for tactical operations but to break enemy morale. Germany too made its mark in bomber design with aircraft like the Heinkel He-111 and the Junkers Ju-88, though their strategic bomber program never reached the scale of the Allies. Instead, Germany focused more on tactical bombers and fighter bombers, contributing to the doctrine of Blitzkrieg lightning war, where speed and surprise were the key. World War II ended with the most dramatic and devastating bomber missions in history, the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Dropped from B-29 superfortresses, these missions changed warfare forever. The age of nuclear capability had begun, and bombers would never be the same again. As the Cold War dawned, so too did a new generation of bombers, ones that weren't just about dropping conventional bombs, but about delivering nuclear warheads across continents. This was the age of strategic deterrence. The United States led the charge with the development of long-range bombers like the Convair B-36 Peacemaker, an enormous aircraft powered by 6 piston engines and 4 jet engines, capable of flying intercontinental distances without refueling. Then came the B-52 Stratofortress, which entered service in the 1950s and remains active even today, a testament to its incredible design. With a wingspan of 185 feet and a payload capacity of 70,000 pounds, the B-52 became the backbone of America's strategic bomber force. Its range, endurance, and flexibility allowed it to serve in countless roles, from carpet bombing in Vietnam to launching cruise missiles in Iraq. Meanwhile, the Soviet Union wasn't far behind. They developed their own bombers, like the Tu-95 bearer, a turboprop-powered monster that could match the range of the B-52 and carried nuclear weapons as well. The Cold War saw the rise of the doctrine of mutually assured destruction, with bombers playing a central role alongside land-based missiles and submarines. During this era, the concept of speed became central. The United States developed the B-58 Hustler, the first bomber capable of Mach 2, though it was eventually retired due to high operational costs. The Soviets responded with the supersonic Tu-22M backfire. These machines were fast and deadly, but they were still visible to radar and vulnerable to interception. This vulnerability led to the next evolutionary leap of stealth. The introduction of stealth technology changed everything. Instead of trying to outrun radar, bombers would now avoid detection entirely. The first stealth bomber, the F-117 Nighthawk, wasn't a traditional bomber in size, but it introduced key technologies like radar-absorbent materials and faceted surfaces to scatter radar signals. Then, in 1989, the B-2 Spirit emerged. With its sleek, flying wing design, the B-2 looked like it came from another world. Capable of penetrating deep into enemy territory without being seen, the B-2 could carry both conventional and nuclear weapons. It is one of the most expensive aircraft ever built, with each unit costing over $2 billion, but it redefined what a bomber could be. Its stealth capabilities were put to the test in conflicts like Kosovo, Iraq, and Afghanistan, where it proved it could deliver precision strikes with minimal warning. Invisible to most radar systems, the B-2 could slip in, strike, and vanish before anyone even realized it was there. The bomber had truly become a ghost. And now, we're entering the next chapter in bomber evolution, the era of the B-21 Raider. Developed by Northrop Grumman, the B-21 is set to replace the B-1 and B-2 bombers in the coming years. It promises even greater stealth, efficiency, and flexibility. Built to survive in contested environments filled with next-gen radar and air defenses, the B-21 will be the most advanced bomber ever constructed. Its exact capabilities remain classified, but what we do know is that it's designed for long-range missions, can carry both nuclear and conventional weapons, and will be adaptable with artificial intelligence and drone swarm coordination. The future of bombing is no longer just about brute force, it's about strategic invisibility, precision, and networked warfare. Other countries are not staying behind. Russia has been developing the PAK-DA, a stealth strategic bomber designed to replace the aging Tu-160 and Tu-95 fleets. China, meanwhile, is working on the Xi'an H-20, expected to be their first true long-range stealth bomber. The bomber race is global now, and it's fueled not just by military necessity, but by technological dominance. So how much does all of this cost? Let's talk numbers. The B-17 Flying Fortress cost about $238,000 back in the 1940s, roughly equivalent to around $4 million today. The B-52, still in service, has cost about $14 million per unit in 1960s dollars, over $120 million in today's money. The B-2 Spirit. Each one cost more than $2 billion to develop and produce. Its maintenance and operation require a specialized hangar and constant care. Its replacement, the B-21 Raider, is expected to cost around $700 million per aircraft, though the total program cost runs into the tens of billions. China's upcoming H-20 and Russia's PAC-DA are both projected to cost several $100 million per unit, making bombers not only strategic assets but significant financial investments. But their value isn't just in destruction. They are tools of deterrence, power projection, and geopolitical influence. Today's bombers are flying command centers, outfitted with electronic warfare capabilities, satellite communications, and the ability to launch hypersonic weapons. They're no longer just aircraft, they're platforms for a new kind of warfare, one that integrates cyber, space, and air in a seamless, almost invisible dance. The evolution of bombers from WWI Relics to modern stealth ghosts reflects more than just advancements in aerospace. It mirrors humanity's constant struggle between defense and offense, between visibility and invisibility, between brute force and calculated precision. We've gone from open cockpit biplanes to radar-evading, nuclear-capable marvels. We've moved from manually dropping bombs by hand to launching AI-coordinated precision-guided munitions from half a world away. Each generation of bombers tells a story of innovation, ambition, and often tragedy. And as we look to the skies of the future, filled with drones, hypersonics, and autonomous systems, one thing remains clear: the bomber is not going anywhere. It is evolving, adapting, and continuing to shape the world from above. Thanks for joining us on this incredible journey through time and technology. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss an upload from AutoBig8. Share your thoughts in the comments. So what do you think the bomber of 2050 will look like? Will it even need a pilot? Or will it be a silent drone ghost, smarter than anything we've ever imagined? Stay curious, stay informed, and stay tuned. AutoBig8 is just getting started. See you in the next video.